Hello, welcome to the first part of the course. So today we are going to be taking an overview of FlutterFlow and then Supabase. So we're going to be learning the interface. So the first thing you need to do is to log into go to FlutterFlow, and then when you click on sign in, it will take you to this place, and this is where you um, create an sign in with your account. So I already have an account which I'm going to sign in with my Gmail. So now this is the dashboard. So this I have some projects here that I've worked on. So I'm going to create a new app, new projects. So the project name is going to be I'm going to name it Note Share. So it's going to be a blank project. So yeah, we are going to select. So this is the project name here, and then this is the app bundle, which is a package name. So this package name is what makes your app to be unique to compared to other apps in Play Store and App Store. If you hover through this, you will see what's the explanation here. So uniquely identify your app on Play Store and App Store, and it must be unique across all apps in Play Store and App Store. So this helps your app to be unique rather. So we're going to select our theme. The theme we're going to use is this with the fonts, I think, because if we check the design, I think yeah. So this is the design here. So I think this is the one we should use here. So now the next thing that we need to do is, are we enabling web? No, we are not using Firebase in this project, so we can start the project. Now this is the first page that you're going to see whenever you create a new project. So now this is the interface of FlutterFlow. On the left side is where you are going to see elements that you can use. So we call this in widgets in Flutter. So these are elements in FlutterFlow. We can also call it widgets. So this is text widgets, column widgets, row widgets, and all. So these are elements that you can use to build your app in here. So and on the right side is where we can style some of our widgets. For instance, I click on the column, so you can see the things that you can style about it. So this is more like HTML and CSS in web development. So where you have this is also similar to Webflow. If you've been on Webflow before, you know what I'm saying. So you have the HTML here, and then you have the CSS for styling. So this is what it is here in FlutterFlow. So this is, if you I click on the column, you can see the column is selected, and then I have some of the things I can do with the column right in here. So and then this is where you can have an action. If you need to place an action on the column, this is where you can have it. Then you need to query a role, or you need to query any kind of database query. So this is where you can do all of those things here, and then generate children dynamically from a list. So and then we have animations, and then if you need to write something about this widget, you can write it right here. So that's about the styling of styling section for column. So now so let's go through this tab one after the other. So here is where you can add, this is the currently selected tab, so which is where you select your elements that you are going to use inside of this canvas. So the next one is page selector. So here you can see, as you can see, this is page selector. So this is the home page. So if we need to add, we can add another page. So I'm going to create a blank page and say sign in page. Call it sign in page. Now you can see this is the page. Now you can see that is part of the page. So I just move this inside of this pages folder, and then you'll be able to see a line inside of the same folder. So this is the sign in page, and then this is the home page. Now you will notice the naming convention. So we have, this is what we call a common casing. So because the first letter for signing is capital letter, and then the second one is page, which is capital letter, same thing as the home page here. So this is the way we are going to be naming our pages. So now the next tab we are going to see here is the widget tree. So we call this widget tree because if you look at this, the whole thing that is here, what carries all of this thing that you see on the screen here is the scaffold. We call it scaffold in Flutter. So you'll be hearing me, I'll be talking about FlutterFlow since now FlutterFlow is built on Flutter. So if we go to Flutter, you'll see what I'm talking about here. So Flutter is the pure code platform. I mean, you code everything that you see. So this is Flutter, and FlutterFlow is built on it. So every app that you generate that is built inside of FlutterFlow is they are purely Flutter code. So if you check the code here, if you click here developers menu and then if you view the source code, so you'll be able to see the Flutter code that was generated. This is it. So this is our Flutter code. This is all of this thing that you see here, they are Flutter code. So that's the reason why I was saying FlutterFlow. So but this course is mainly for FlutterFlow. So I'll go back to the Node.js app. So this is it here. So everything that you see here is placed inside of a scaffold, and then if you click outside, you will see where they wrote we have save area, also we have so safe area, you get to know about this. Hide keyboard on top, you get to know about this too. So when I view the source code, you're going to see the scaffold. But let me continue from here. So now there's a column inside, and then we have an app bar. So this is app bar here. So if you view the source code again, let me show you what I'm talking about here. So now there's a gesture detector. Now this is the scaffold I was talking about. So everything you see here is placed inside of this scaffold. So and you can see this is an app bar. If I click on the app bar here, you see the code that is generated for the app bar alone, which is this. You can see it here. So this is the name, this is the app bar, and then the column inside, you see when I click on it, you can see that this is the code that was generated for this column. So that's it. So this is the widget tree. So as you can see, so now let's go to the next tab. This is the storyboard. So this is where you see all the screens that you connect to each other. So this is where you're going to see them. There's not so much to be done now. I don't know what happened, okay, so I'm back. So now let's go to the next tab, which is file store. We are not using Firebase in our project, so we can ignore this, because this is where you create collections, and then the collections that you're going to query inside of your app. So the next part we're going in is the next tab is where we create data type and then enum type. You will understand this later too. And this is where we have the app state. So and also we have constants. So the difference between constants, if you over through this and then you see it, add app wide constant value that can be used throughout your app. So whenever you create a constant, you cannot change it inside the app. It's going to be constant. So that's what constant is. App state can be changed inside of the app depending on the kind of value that which you put it at. So this app state is generally like if I create a new variable here, I say store name, and then the type is going to be of type string type. So and then I'm not persisting it. Persisting means that you want this even when you quit the app, you still want to have the value. You don't want it to you don't want to cancel the value. You don't want to reset the value whenever you quit the app. So that's what persistence means. So if you overthrow it, you will be able to see the description. So if I create this, so this app states, I can be able to use it directly inside of the app, anywhere inside of the app. That's the work of app state. So we'll come to this later also. So I'm going to go back and then I'll delete this app state. So now this is where we make our API calls. So also I think we are going to be using API call too inside of this project, so you learn about how you can make API call inside of FlutterFlow. Now this is where we input our assets, and all this is where you see all the assets that you upload. Now this is where we have our custom code. So this is where you write your custom code, and this is the main.dat file. So this is what triggers the app to run. So this is it here. So we also have cloud functions with if you are using Firebase, you can use cloud functions to store your functions on cloud, and then whenever you can set an action to trigger the functions wherever you need it. So that's about it. And this is where we test, so you have to be on a paid plan to test your widget. And then this is where we have the theme. You can change it, typography, design system, widgets, same widgets, and so on. And then this is where you have our settings. So on settings, this is where we have our app details. The app details, which is no share out, and then this is the app bundle, so which is the package name, which is going to be unique whenever you want to upload it to Play Store or App Store. So the initial page that we are landing in whenever we open the app is home page. So once we enable authentication, we'll have two pages, which is going to be the authentication page and authenticated page, which is going to be the home page. Folder organization is enabled here. The download settings for our, then routes, also routing and deep linking. We're also going to be looking at this also. You override the transition if you need, in case you need to use Firebase dynamic linking. So now we'll go to the assets. So this is where we set our splash page. Splash page is the first, whenever you load an app, open an app for instance, the first time you open it, and then you're going to see something in the first show, and then it show the logo of the app. So that's the splash screen. Then the launch icon is the icon. For instance, if I open this is what they call launcher icon, and then Android adaptive icon, which is same thing as the launcher for Android. Okay. For Android, starting from, I think this is a new thing, adaptive, which consists of 2-layer background and foreground, simple run, blah blah blah. No. So get to this. So, error image placeholder. So this is when you have an error for images. So here we have navigation bar. We have navigation bar and app bar in case you need to set a general app bar for whenever you create a new page, and then you want this app bar to show this or anyone you like, you can select here. So you can also style it from here. So walkthrough, we're not using this in this tutorial, we only this for now. So I'll make a tutorial, separate tutorial for this. So collaborations, if you have a user you need to add to your team, this is where you have them. So this is Firebase, if you need to connect Firebase to your account, this is where you need to set, you want to set your language, your primary language and all. So platform, so we're only doing for Android and iOS, then although you can enable for the rest if you will need to. This is where we set our permissions. So if you need to enter permissions, some of might require Bluetooth permission, biometric, calendar, camera permission. We're going to require this. Contact permission, also location, microphone, and so on. Authentication, this is app settings. If we enable authentications here, you can see this is now. Of course, we are making use of Supabase. So here we can. This is where we're going to set all of the things that we need from here. So initial page, you select it and all. So this is going to be the next part of the course. So push notifications also is there. This is when you want to deploy to App Store or Play Store. Web publishing, to publish the web. And then if you need to do payments, these are some of the things you can do. Then Supabase, this is the Supabase that we're using with our project. So we're going to configure it in the next tutorial. to the next part of the course actually. So SQLite is use configure a local to store data locally. So GitHub, you can connect your app to GitHub to save the code there. So Algolia also, this is a search engine that works like not like Google search engine. You need to implement it inside of your project. Google Analytics, Google Map, AdMob, and so on. This is one signal for push notifications, in-app messaging notifications, and all of those things. And then this is Gemini for an AI. So these are basically the things majorly that you need to know about FlutterFlow interface. So now let's go to Supabase. Now this is Supabase. So in case you don't have an account in Supabase, you can easily sign up here, or you sign in. So for me, I already have an account. So although let me sign up with a new account. So I'm going to use the accounts that I have. So I'm going to pause the video so I can enter my details. So after creating an account, this is where I was taken to on Supabase. So so from here you can create a project. So I can start a new organization. So I will name this organization course. Yeah. So and then the password, I'll generate a password for this. I'll generate should be able to generate a new one. So I'm going to copy this password and save it somewhere, and then select a region. I am in Nigeria, so I have to select the one that is closer to me here. So I'll use London. So and then I create a project. So now this is my actually the organization name has been set from my email. So now this is the project actually, so which means I'll need to rename this project to what we have in the app. So I'm going to go to the settings of this and change the name. So project settings and general settings here. So this is where I'm going to change the name of this to not share. So yeah, this is the project name, and then this is the project ID. So I'm going to save this. Now this is done. So I'm going to go to the API. Okay, now I just want to show the interface here. So now this is Supabase. So now this is where you're going to see all the tables. Now Supabase is built on Postgres. So now you are going to be dealing with tables and rows. I mean yes, tables and then rows and columns. So this is where you're going to see all your tables that you've created. Now this is where, in case you need to use code to create your tables, or you want to get some data, so there are a lot of things that you can do with this. I mean, with this SQL editor. So and then the rows, you can see the programming language which is Progress. So you can do them right here. So this is where we are going to have our database. So this is the database here. So and this is where you can create a new table, just like you have here. You can name it, and then you select the type which you want it to be. Now this is the ID. These are also generated. Then you can add something else here, and then select the type which you want it to be. Now you can see it here. So, and then you can, the default value can be null, or you can just set it to be primary key. And we have primary keys here, which means which is what makes the app to, this role to be unique. So which is the primary key here. So discard this. Now this is where we have our functions, database functions. Like I told you, we are going to be looking at database functions also. So this is where we also set triggers. So whenever we create a function and then you want to trigger something, maybe whenever there is a new insert inside of the database, this is where you set the trigger. So in on type, we're going to be looking at these two extensions. There are a lot of extensions. You can go through each of these and then check the documentations. So if you click on the documentation, you will be navigated to another page. So here you can see the docs about it. So we have indexing. So we're also going to look at this indexing also. Publications, this is when you need to subscribe to a real-time update on inside of your app. So after you create a table, you also need to set the rows. So we these are the rows for these so you don't need to concern yourself too much about this. Well, these are super admins thing here. So we have authenticated and all. So these are policy. We are going to be setting policy whenever we create a new table. We are going to be creating our policy alongside with it. More like a Supabase where you have rows also. You set the rows for each collections. So now for authentications also, this is where we select the kind of authentication. You can sign in with Google, sign in with Figma, sign in with different kind of platform that you can sign in with right here and get your user information out of them. This is when it comes to email, you need to send email confirmation and all. So and then this is where you have the templates for signing in, for confirming confirm sign up, invite user, magic link and all. Then URL configurations also here, and then we have webhooks. So we're also going to look at this too later in the course. This is storage. So this is where we store our files, folders and all. So this is also, you set the policies here also. And then this is edge functions. Edge functions, like I told you, they are functions that reside inside of a cloud. So you only write them. You don't. It depends on if you it depends on the kind of thing that you want to work with. Probably if you want to work with payment stuff and you don't want the functions to reside inside of the app, that is, if you don't want to, let's say you make an update later in the functions, you have to push an update to Play Store and App Store before user can get to see the updates. But with your functions, you can deploy your functions and then you don't need to push an update to App Store or Play Store, and then you see the updates directly inside of your app. Whenever the user makes action, clicks on any action that triggers that function, you will see the updates. So yeah, it is. So this is a real time. You need to update your app in a real time. So, and then we have this is security advisors. You see all your warnings and some of the information that you need to see here, and also the performance. You check them right here. Reports also, API reports. You see your analytics. I think this is it. Yeah. So we have the logs also. API documentation. One beautiful thing I love about Supabase is that whenever you create your table, there's going to be the documentation that is going to be written for you without you doing anything. Supabase is going to do everything for you. So if you create a table, that you will see a documentation generated for create. If you need to insert into the table, update the table, delete the table, listen to real-time changes from the table, and so on. You are going to see them right in here. So this is authentication documentation. Like I said, you can see this is one documentation there. User sign up, you use this function. This is for TypeScript. So you can see it here. So these are documentation written out, and then you see all of the information that you need to know. Yeah. So then also, if you need to use user guide, especially documentation should be your friend. Everything I know is through documentation and practice. So if you need to practice, you need to learn how things works, you go through documentation and then you'll be able to understand how it works. So IPR reference, same thing. Yeah. Now this is the project settings. Um, so this is where you have your database settings. You can check the settings there. You need to do some connections. This is where you see all of the information you need to get. API. So we are going to be using this inside of our Supabase, FlutterFlow. So I guess we should start from here. So I'm going to connect this Supabase account to FlutterFlow. So I'll copy this site URL. We need it. So if we go to I guess I should stop here. So because I should stop here from this overview of Supabase and FlutterFlow. So from the next tutorial, from the next part of the course, I'm going to connect this and then we'll start building our app. So if you have watched this course to this level, I'll say thank you, and also I hope you are enjoying the course. And if you are a newcomer, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever I release a new video. The new part of the video. And also this will also help me to it will also encourage me to build more, to create more tutorials, so that every one of us can be able to build our desired app. So thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope to see you in the next part of the course. Bye for now.